From the land of the rising sun comes another engineering marvel, an automotive masterpiece that's here to bring a revolutionary change for a brand that's struggling for the limelight in our vast automotive market. An SUV so important that the future of Nissan's existence in India is decided by its success. A product so vital, it's all been developed in India, keeping us buyers in mind, and it's here to undercut the rivals by a fair margin.
Now that's tremendous responsibility riding on the Magnite's shoulder. But let me take that burden off and tell you if it's any good. Of course, it's a compact SUV, we all know that. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out my first look video by clicking on the link. I think it's there. While you're there, also subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon and stay notified to the latest automotive content. I'm really glad how the Magnite has been designed thanks to these sleek and sharp design elements that give it a very Japanese look. It's a face that never fails to grab attention. Up top, you have these sharp LED headlamps, which also have these turn indicators within them. And just down below, you have these vertical boomerang-like DRLs, which give it a very distinctive look.
The fog lamps are placed lower down, and that's where you'll notice the scuff plate design on the bumper sporting a dual tone treatment. The grille showed is large, blingy and imposing, but I am not entirely convinced. What I really like are the creases on the bonnet, and in all, it's a very distant yet likable front end. The profile of the Magnite isn't its photogenic side. The visuals make it appear tiny and compact than it actually is, but there are plenty elements to like here. Plastic cladding to give it that SUV stance, dual tone colors to add to the dynamism, the Magnite badging on the front fender, contrasting roof rails and an eye-catching design for those 16 inchers.
My favorite bit still remains this strong and prominent hip line that merges neatly into the tail lamp. The C-pillar as well has some cuts here that add to the taut design language.
The exteriors have a hint of sportiness and aggressiveness along with that SUV stance, and that's been carried forward on the inside too.
Starting from this dashboard design that is slightly tilted towards the driver. There are quite a few interesting elements to like here, like these hexagonal AC vents, a dedicated place to put your phone in that can also wirelessly charge your devices. What's also wireless is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is segment first. Another segment first feature is that full digital instrument cluster.
It's got a lot of information on display, including a tire pressure monitor, but it doesn't fit right in this entire package. I would have expected a more engaging display to match those sharp looks. What's also exclusive to this segment is the 360-degree camera that is aided by 4 onboard cameras on the outside, and this is surely a boon for first-time buyers. Customers will also appreciate the cabin quality and packaging. It all feels nicely done with good quality materials being used. Some areas would appear a bit too hard and plasticky, but it's all there to last long in our conditions. Very interesting of Nissan to flaunt a denim finish on door trims and central armrest. What's more, you also get a 6-speaker JBL sound system and puddle lights to welcome you every time you step in.
I'll also quickly hop into the rear seats and show you what they are like. Now it all starts by this door design. You would notice the panel is cut straight, unlike the conventional curve over the wheel arch. And what that does is allows for easy ingress and egress into the rear seats. Once you're back in here, you would notice that the seat is quite firm yet very supportive. And the rear seat is the biggest surprise in the Magnite's package. There is ample amounts of space on offer. There is good amount of knee room, headroom is adequate, good amount of shoulder room, and it just feels very nice and airy. I'm also treated by 2 AC vents and a 12-volt socket, adjustable headrests, and a central armrest with 2 cup holders and a dedicated slot to put my phone in. Now to the driving bits. Well, I'm really excited to try this new 1-liter turbocharged engine on the Nissan Magnite, and well, let's get straight to it. Starting the engine does have that little vibration from the 3-cylinder mill, but it's not as bad as the 1-liter on the Triber, and that's a huge relief. When you're on the roll, the engine does have that 3-cylinder vibration, that typical thump coming through the cabin as well, but it's not as bad as you would have expected it to be. What's really concerning is the noise, that harsh noise that it makes, especially past that 3,500 RPM. As you can hear it, it's quite vocal even inside the cabin. What's good though is the performance on offer. 98 bhp from that engine, and there isn't much turbo lag as well. The performance is linear but strong, and quick taps on the accelerator is rewarded by good increments in speed. Now with this engine, Nissan is offering two transmission options. One is this Xtronic CVT transmission and other is the manual transmission. I'm driving both back to back today, starting with this CVT. Nissan claims this Xtronic transmission to be much better than the conventional CVT units out there. And well, out on the roads, it feels better, it feels much more intuitive, and although the rubber band effect is still present, it's reduced to a large extent. Now with this CVT transmission, Nissan is also offering a sports mode which can be activated from a button that's hidden on this gear stick. Now what that mode does is hold the revs slightly longer so that you can extract more juices from that engine. Now when you plant your foot into the accelerator, the gearbox will kick down one gear to make progress, but the engine just becomes way too vocal inside the cabin, and ultimately you would just end up not accelerating that, not extracting all that juice out of that engine. The Magnite is certainly a good cruiser and it can live up to some levels of spirited driving, but don't expect sports car performance from this engine. What's a true delight is the suspension setup on the Magnite. It's perfectly tuned to our Indian road conditions and it absorbs bumps rather well. So much so that wherever you point it and whatever you throw at it, it just takes it, it just absorbs it with so much confidence and poise. It's a perfect balance of plushness, firmness and sportiness. Top marks to Nissan for achieving that balance. Now having experienced this CVT gearbox, I'm going to now hop into our second test vehicle and experience the manual one. Now into the manually operated Nissan Magnite. Well, manual gearbox always intrigues me. Let's see how this one performs. Now, of the two transmissions that are being offered on the Magnite, I think this is better suited if you are looking at extracting all the ponies from the engine. This also will obviously give you more fuel efficiency, but the gear shift isn't the smoothest, and that clutch travel, well, it's really long and you have to engage it all the way towards the very end before you change gears. Now, contrary to my likings, I think I would still opt for the CVT transmission over this 5-speed manual. And the reason being, the CVT is better suited to the kind of conditions that the Magnite would be driven in, within city limits. It's more suited to bumper traffic, and the sports modes let you extract all that power when you really need it. Yes, it misses out on that paddle shifts, and this gives you the entire manual control, but I don't think customers would trade off the convenience of that automatic gearbox over this manual joy. Now when the Magnite was first showcased, it generated a lot of interest, and that was partly because of its sharp styling and partly because of its pricing. But having the day spent with it, I can tell you there's a lot more to look forward to. The rear seat comfort, good ride and handling, good space on the inside, good features list, and that entire value for money proposition that it brings to the table.
Yes, there are other SUVs which offer slightly better interiors and a few more features, but their asking prices are much more higher than the Magnite. While they remain to be good vehicles, the Magnite brings to the table an excellent value proposition that's hard to ignore. Too little, too late? I think the Magnite isn't late at all. It's here to carve a space of its own and should certainly bring volumes to the brand.